At a family barbecue, my cousin loudly declared, "She's only successful because she slept her way to the top." As I stood there mortified, he added, "I mean, come on, look at her. She can't be that smart." Laughter erupted around the patio while my parents just stared at their plates. When I finally spoke up, he raised his beer and toasted, "Here's to nepotism and backdoor deals." That's when my grandfather slowly got up and exposed his secret that shut everyone up instantly. Let me tell you about the day my cousin Travis thought he could publicly shame me and got his entire world flipped upside down by the last person he expected, our grandfather. The barbecue was supposed to be just another Sunday family thing. We do it every summer at my Uncle Ron's place in Spokane, Washington. Same people, same food, same fake smiles. My family isn't close. We just go through the motions. People bring their drama, and someone always ends up crying or storming off. That's just how it is. I'm 34. I work in cybersecurity. I didn't go to a fancy school. I didn't have help. I paid my own way through a 2-year college, worked night shifts at a gas station, and took every stupid unpaid internship until something stuck. I built my career from nothing. I've been promoted 3 times in 5 years because I know what I'm doing. But in my family, being successful and female makes you a target. Travis, my cousin, is 36. He peaked in high school. Still talks about his glory days playing linebacker. He works for a car dealership that's owned by his wife's dad, but he acts like he's some big shot CEO. The truth is, Travis has always been a loud, bitter, jealous jerk. I don't talk to him unless I have to. So when I showed up that day in a simple sundress with a tray of my potato salad, I wasn't expecting anything special. Just awkward hellos, maybe a few backhanded compliments from my aunts. We were all eating. I was at a table with Aunt Marla, talking about her latest knee surgery. Travis was drinking like he had something to prove, downing beers and cracking jokes way too loud. Then, out of nowhere, Travis looked over at me and said, "She's only successful because she slept her way to the top." It was like someone hit pause on everything. I looked around. Nobody moved. Then he said louder, "I mean, come on, look at her. She can't be that smart." Laughter. Real, hard laughter from a few of his brothers and even his dad. My stomach dropped. I couldn't breathe. My face burned. I looked at my parents. My mom stared down at her plate like she was hypnotized by her pasta salad. My dad shifted uncomfortably and cleared his throat, but didn't say a damn word. I finally stood up and said, "Excuse me?" Travis raised his beer. "Here's to nepotism and backdoor deals." More laughter. My ears rang. That's when I saw Grandpa Henry stand up from the corner. He was sitting in his usual folding chair under the shade. Grandpa doesn't say much at these things. He's a quiet man. Served in Vietnam, worked as a master electrician for 40 years, and never talked unless it mattered. He stood up slow, like something inside him just hit the boiling point. Everyone went quiet. Grandpa walked over to the center of the patio, sipping his beer, then looked directly at Travis. "You think she got her job from sleeping around?" he said, loud and clear. "That's what you think." Travis chuckled nervously. "It was just a joke, Gramps. Come on." Grandpa didn't smile. "No, it wasn't. It was a cheap shot, and I'm tired of pretending like you're anything but what you are." The whole patio went still. Grandpa reached into his back pocket and pulled out a folded piece of paper. He held it up. "This here is a notarized statement from 1996. Your mom didn't want it getting out, but I'm done protecting people who don't deserve it." Travis's face dropped. "What are you talking about?" Grandpa turned to Travis's dad, my Uncle Ron, who suddenly looked like he'd seen a ghost. "You're not his real father," Grandpa said calmly. "Travis, your real dad was your mom's boss at the real estate office she worked at. She had an affair, got pregnant. Ron knew, but he loved her enough to raise you like his own." Someone gasped. Aunt Cheryl covered her mouth. Travis just stood there, mouth open. Grandpa didn't stop. "And let's talk about how you got that dealership job. You think you're a big shot? The only reason your wife's dad hired you was because he caught you stealing from your last job. You embezzled over 20 grand, and he buried it. paid off the manager to keep it quiet. Travis looked like he was going to throw up. "That's not true," he said, but his voice cracked. "Oh, it's true," Grandpa said. "Your mother cried to me for weeks about it. You've been nothing but a disappointment to this family. And you want to talk about someone earning their place? At least she did it the right way."
He pointed at me.
"She worked. She earned everything. She never asked for favors. You wouldn't last a week doing what she does." No one said a word. I've sat through a lot of these family get-togethers listening to you run your mouth. This time, you went too far. Then Grandpa sat back down. Nobody moved. Travis just stood there, pale, sweaty, silent. Then, like a coward, he left. Didn't even say goodbye. His mom and dad left right after, without a word. That barbecue ended earlier than usual.
People didn't know what to say. My mom hugged me tight and said she was sorry.
I didn't answer. It was too late for that. But Grandpa, he gave me a nod from across the yard. The kind of nod that says, "I got you." And in that moment, I finally believed it. That barbecue changed everything. In the days after, I started getting texts from random family members, some apologizing, some just checking in, and others trying to pretend nothing had happened. I ignored most of them. I didn't owe anyone a damn explanation. But the silence from Travis was deafening. No apology, no message, no call. Just nothing. I thought maybe he was hiding, licking his wounds. But 2 weeks later, I found out he was doing something else entirely. I got a call from a coworker named Jake. "Hey," he said cautiously, "you might want to know someone's been calling the office saying stuff about you. Weird stuff. They didn't leave a name, but they said you lied about your certs and had been fired from a previous job." My stomach turned. "HR shut it down right away," Jake added. "But I thought you should know." I sat there in my office chair, stunned. Travis. It had to be him. He couldn't humiliate me at the barbecue, so now he was trying to ruin my career? I logged into LinkedIn. Sure enough, I had a handful of new profile views, anonymous, private, recruiters. All in Spokane. This son of a bitch was trying to destroy me from behind the scenes. I didn't say anything to anyone for a few days. I just watched. Waited. Then, out of nowhere, I got a Facebook message from a name I didn't recognize. Kelsey Marsh.
"Hi.
I don't know you personally, but I used to work at Larry's Auto Mall in Spokane. I heard about what happened at your family barbecue, and I need to tell you something about Travis." I replied instantly. "What do you mean?" She wrote back. "He sexually harassed me for months. I filed a report, and then I was suddenly let go. I never got closure. I thought I was the only one. But if you're his cousin and you're calling him out, maybe it's time someone actually exposes him for real." My chest went cold. I asked if she'd talk to me on the phone.
She did.
She told me everything. How Travis had cornered her in the parts room. Sent disgusting texts. Then smeared her as unstable to the boss when she complained. She even still had screenshots. I asked her if she'd be willing to go public. She hesitated. "I don't want anything from him," she said. "I just want him to finally face consequences." I told her I had an idea. I spent the next week gathering everything. Texts, screenshots, the notarized letter Grandpa showed, even a quiet conversation with another woman who confirmed Travis had a history of being gross at his other jobs. Then I made a call to a local Spokane reporter I knew from college. We weren't friends, but she remembered me. I laid it all out. She listened quietly, asked careful questions, and finally said, "If you have proof, I'm running it." 2 weeks later, the headline dropped. Local auto exec protected by family ties faces harassment allegations. Hidden paternity scandal. It was brutal. The article included statements from Kelsey and one other woman. It referenced Travis's secret paternity, the embezzlement allegations, and yes, his ugly behavior at that barbecue. It spread fast, shared by Spokane locals, then picked up by a regional news outlet. The fallout was instant. Larry's Auto Mall released a statement saying they were investigating but had no prior knowledge. That was a lie, of course. But the damage was done. Travis was fired within 48 hours. I got another call, this time from his wife's sister. She told me his wife left him the same day the article dropped. Took the kids, moved in with her parents. Filed for divorce a week later. Travis? He tried to go online and post some sad half-apology, claiming he was going through a tough time and had made some mistakes. No one cared. I didn't celebrate. Not yet. Because he wasn't done. A few days later, I walked outside my condo and found something spray-painted on the side of my car. Lying bitch. When I saw the words lying bitch spray-painted across the driver's side of my Honda, I didn't panic. I didn't scream. I didn't even cry. I stood there staring at it in the early morning light, one hand on my coffee mug, the other tightening into a fist. This wasn't just about Travis anymore. This was about how far someone would go when their lies and power start slipping away. I called the police. Filed a report. Gave them Travis's name, along with a copy of the article and a statement about everything that had happened since the barbecue. The officer nodded, took some photos, and said they'd look into it. I wasn't holding my breath. But I did have something else. My condo's security cameras. I went straight to the building manager. He was a nice older guy named Joe, who liked talking about fishing more than fixing leaky faucets, but he knew how to pull camera footage. I told him what happened, and he took me into the back room where the monitor was. We rewound to 2:43 a.m. The footage was grainy but clear enough. A figure in a hoodie approached my car.
Male. Stocky.
Familiar walk. He pulled out a can, sprayed the side, then looked around before jogging off toward the street. Joe paused the video. That him? He asked. I nodded. That's Travis. Joe looked at me. You pressing charges? I hesitated, then said, not yet. Because something didn't feel right. Why would Travis risk getting caught like that? He's dumb, but not that dumb. If he knew there were cameras, which he should have, he helped my parents move in once and parked in this lot. He wouldn't have done it himself. Unless he didn't care anymore. Or unless it wasn't him. I saved the footage on a USB and left. That night, I got a text from an unknown number. Should have kept your mouth shut. No name. Just that. I showed it to the police. They traced the number to a burner. No surprise. But that was when something else happened. Kelsey, the woman who came forward earlier, called me again. Her voice was shaking. Someone's been outside my house, she whispered. Not doing anything. Just sitting in a truck with the lights off. Every night for 3 nights. I felt sick. You think it's him? I asked. I don't know, but I'm scared. I told her to call the police. She already had. But the truck was gone every time they showed up. Then she told me something else. Travis has a brother, right? The big one? Matt. My heart dropped.
Yeah. Why?
I think it's him. I saw the guy's outline in the driver's seat. It looked like him. And yesterday, someone threw a beer can at my front window. That changed everything. Matt was worse than Travis in a lot of ways. Quieter, but meaner. The kind of guy who smirked when someone else got hurt. He'd been laughing the loudest at the barbecue. And if Travis had been backed into a corner, maybe he didn't act alone. I called my grandpa. He picked up on the second ring. I heard about your car, he said before I could even speak. I think Matt's involved, I told him. Silence. Then Grandpa sighed. I should have said something years ago. About both of them. I waited. There's more to this, he said. A lot more. And if you want to finish what you started, you're going to need to know the full truth. I drove to his house that night. He was already waiting at the door. And what he told me next made everything before this feel like the calm before a long, ugly storm. Grandpa sat me down in his living room. No TV on. No music. Just the hum of the old ceiling fan and the weight of what he was about to say. Before your Uncle Ron married Cheryl, Travis's mom, he was with someone else. A girl named Melanie, Grandpa started. They were together a couple years. She got pregnant. Ron denied it. Said the baby wasn't his. That baby was Matt. I blinked. Wait. Matt isn't Cheryl's? Grandpa shook his head.
No.
She came along later, married your uncle when Matt was 5. Took him in like her own. But she hated Melanie, hated that Ron had a kid with someone else. So she kept Matt close, controlled him, made him feel like he wasn't good enough. Ron barely raised either of them. He was too busy drinking and sleeping around. I sat back. My stomach turned. That's why Matt protects Travis. He was raised to think Travis was the real son. The chosen one, Grandpa said bitterly. Matt's never let go of that. Never forgave the world or his mother for how things turned out. And he'd do anything for Travis. Anything. I asked him why he never said anything sooner. I was tired of family secrets. But I realize now, staying quiet just let this rot grow deeper. I thanked him and left. But I wasn't done. If Matt was behind the threats, I needed proof. The cops weren't going to help until something worse happened. So I did something I wasn't proud of. I baited them. I made a post online, a fake one. I created a Reddit account under a burner name and posted in a local spoken subreddit, claiming I was a former classmate of Travis who had more dirt on him and was considering going public. It didn't take long. Within 12 hours, I got a message from another burner. You say one more word, and you'll regret it. You don't know what these people are capable of. The wording was different from Travis's usual stupidity. This was more careful, more threatening. I traced the IP address using a contact from my job. It pinged a location near North Spokane, a bar Matt used to hang out at. That was all I needed. I printed everything, took it to the detective now handling the vandalism and harassment case. When they saw the messages, the video of my car, and the Reddit post connection, they opened a formal investigation. Then something amazing happened. Kelsey got a message, too, this time from a former coworker who saw the article and came forward with a signed statement. She had also been harassed by Travis and fired after complaining. Now there were 3. The police put together enough to get a warrant for Matt's phone and property. They found a burner phone in his truck's glove box, with texts threatening me, Kelsey, and even 2 other women we didn't know about. Matt was arrested for harassment and criminal threats. Travis was re-questioned, and when he realized Matt might flip on him, he tried to deny everything. But his wife's lawyer wasn't done either. She filed a restraining order and submitted all the news coverage and police reports to help her gain full custody. Travis broke down. He showed up to my parents' house, crying, screaming, demanding someone make this go away. My dad slammed the door in his face. My mom never even got up from the couch. He tried to call me. I let it ring. Then I picked it up on the 4th attempt. You win, he sobbed. Are you happy? No, I said. Because none of this should have happened in the first place. He begged me to tell the police Matt acted alone. I didn't. 6 months later, Travis lost everything. His job, his family, his reputation. He was blacklisted in Spokane, and last I heard, he was working night shifts at a gas station outside of town. Alone. Angry. Matt served time. Not much, but enough to leave a permanent mark on his record. And the family? Torn in half. My uncle Ron left town. Cheryl stopped showing up to anything. My aunts barely speak now. But the real shift? My parents changed. They finally saw what silence does. My mom apologized, really apologized, for not standing up for me sooner. My dad wrote me a letter. Said he was ashamed of what he let slide over the years. We're not perfect, but it's better now.
Honest.
And Grandpa? He's the only one who never looked away. I visit him every week. We talk about everything, life, regret, survival. One day, I asked him why he finally stood up that day. He said, because someone had to. And if not me, then who? I didn't want revenge when this all started. I just wanted it to stop. But sometimes, justice is revenge. And sometimes, the only way to end a legacy of silence is to break it so loud the whole damn family hears. And they did.